Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you are here. I can hear you well.
Okay.
You can. I already started the session. Maybe towards the end you can stop the session and get started with the new section. Yeah. You can introduce Jana. I will move out now. Okay.
Thank you, Aro. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, good evening, everyone, and we are honored to have Janardhan S with us today. So, he is Microsoft AI MVP and MCT community lead with an impressive Microsoft certified trainer for 5 years. He has been. And as a Microsoft Learn expert, as well as like MVP MCT, he actively contributes to the global tech community, empowering professionals and students like. So currently, he's a senior specialist, AI specialist, and he brings a wealth of expertise in AI and cloud technologies as well as data analytics. So, with his vast experience and commitment to innovation, Janardhan continues to inspire and shape the future of AI and technology. Let's welcome Janardhan. Hi, Janardhan. Good evening. How was your day?
It's going good, Gomati, I think. Thanks for the great introduction. And,
Thank you. So, the dice is yours. You can
and
just start.
I and I saw the last presentation also. It's pretty much impressive. And thanks for the excellent presentation done by Michael. I believe my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Jonathan. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. The most interesting and trending topic for this hour will be on how are we going to build an application with respect to the DeepSeek-R1 model, particularly on the Azure AI Foundry. Okay, so that will be the major discussion area for today's uh, Global Power Platform Bootcamp. I think Gomade has already mentioned me about my details. So if you want to reach out to any questions related to the generative AI platform or else artificial intelligence platform, including the agentic AI, feel free to reach out to my LinkedIn handle. This is my LinkedIn handle. You can reach out. Also, any students or working professional, if you are interested in getting the Microsoft voucher, please join our Microsoft Learning Room. My Microsoft Learning Room will be the Microsoft Tech Talks. So that link I'll be sharing at the end of this session. Followed by, I used to post videos related to artificial intelligence as well as the Azure AI stuffs on my YouTube handle, including the internship opportunities as well as the coding challenges and hackathon challenges for the students. And for the working professional, I used to post videos related to Gen AI and Agentic AI. Please feel to reach out to my YouTube handle as well. So before we start about the actual AI application building using DeepSeek R1 model, so let's talk about what is for today's discussion in our agenda. So we will talk about the DeepSeek R1 introduction in terms of how the model has been evolved, followed by the DeepSeek R1 architecture and DeepSeek R1 model capabilities. And we will see the extensive catalog with respect to the Azure AI Foundry. And we'll be discussing on two hands-on. One is on the DeepSeek R1 model on Azure AI Foundry deployment, followed by how to build an extensive web application chatbot related to the R1 model, the DeepSeek R1 model using the Azure AI Foundry with the help of the Streamlit application. So this is about today's discussion. The very first topic, what is this DeepSeek R1 about? The DeepSeek R1 model, it is an open source model and it is a famous large language model. And this particular model, it is from the Chinese AI startup company. And the best aspect of this DeepSeek-R1 model, it is most powerful model related to reasoning capabilities. When I say reasoning capabilities, if you want to solve any type of complex problem, or else you want some of the advanced reasoning capabilities or any deep problem solving techniques related to a scientific, related to research, related computing, or any type of computational problem. If you want to solve this, you can make use of the model, which is DeepSeek-R1 model. How this DeepSeek-R1 model has been evolved with respect to the architecture. Let's see the architecture at high level. If you notice a DeepSeek-R1 model, the architecture, the internal detailings will be segmented into three major steps. One is the cold start phase, and the second one is reasoning reinforcement learning phase, and the third phase is rejection sampling and supervised fine tuning. These are the three-step process how this DeepSeek R1 model is going to be involved as part of the AI application building and development. The very first step, we talk about the cold start phase. The meaning of cold start phase is the overall fine-tuning model related to the cold start phase. It begins with the DeepSeek V3 base model. And this DeepSeek V3 based model, it is going to be used a smaller data set that will be carefully curated by the chain of thought reasoning prompt using a specific set of predefined COT reasoning thought examples. By end of this phase, that is your cold start phase, whatever the model we have been developed it, okay, this is going to produce a model will be able to demonstrate the reasoning abilities. When I say the reasoning abilities, and this is going to set a stage of several advanced training phases. When I say several advanced training phases, it involves reward optimization, your self-evolution, helpful and harmless human interaction or human preferences. These are the three stages will be a part of your that is your reasoning and reinforcement learning phases. If I want to refine your reasoning abilities as well as you want to ensure the alignment related to the human interaction or human preferences, we will be using the RL phases. When I say RL phases, the RL phases which is used for the reinforcement learning phase. The meaning of reinforcement learning phase here is this reward optimization is going to be in output based incentivized, which means any type of accuracy or any type of reliability, if you want to make it, we will be using the reward model. And the second phase of this reasoning and reinforcement learning, it is self-evolution. The meaning of self-evolution here, it is if I want to enable any model that is going to operate autonomously, you need to develop some of the reasoning abilities. When I say reasoning abilities, it could be your self-correction, it could be a self-verification, or it could be your any type of optimization concern. If you want to use it, use self-evolution. Once the self-evolution model you'll be able to build autonomously, you will be moving to the third phase of this RL phase, which is nothing but helpful and harmless human interaction. How this helpful, harmless human interaction has been completed in the sense, in order to ensure any model output. When I say the model output, it could be a GPT-4o or it could be O3 mini or any of the previous model you have been taken as a performance wise, which will be the best aspect. That model output you will be taking in your third phase. Once you are taken the third phase output, and that phase output you are going to align with the human preferences or human interaction. which is your step number two, your reasoning and reinforcement learning phases. With that final human preferences or human interaction as an outcome, we will be injecting that as an input to the rejection sampling or supervised fine tuning model. So in this, after you will be able to generate a large number of samples, the final model you will be able to curate and you will be able to accurate with a certain set of refined data set with along with the reasoning abilities and beyond nature. So that has been done with the help of rejection sampling as well as supervised fine tuning approach. Then you will be getting a well furnished, a well-refined DeepSeek-R1 model. You can use either DeepSeek-R1 model in your model deployment, or else you can start using DeepSeek-R1 distilled model deployment as well. So whichever use cases or whichever customers you're handling, you can choose the DeepSeek model wisely related to this particular curated architecture as concerned. So with that, the DeepSeek-R1 model is now available in your Azure AI Foundry, and it is also available in the GitHub models. And the beauty of this Azure AI Foundry, first of all, we have to create a resource from your Azure portal using your Azure AI Foundry services. Afterwards, start creating one of the Azure AI Hub. Then the Azure AI Hub has to be associated with the Azure AI project, followed by the in the model catalog, you will start searching for your model, which is DeepSeek R1 model. Once it is done, you can access this particular DeepSeek R1 model in your asset section of your DeepSeek R1 in your Azure AI Foundry. So this I'll be showcasing as part of the demo. Then you'll have a clarity how this Azure AI Foundry has been created and how you'll be able to create a Azure AI Hub followed by the Azure AI project. Once these two things are associated, along with that, a set of connected resources you can notice like a storage, your key vault. These two services will be provisioned the moment you created the Azure AI Hub. So the major DeepSeek R1 capabilities, if you notice, we have almost 1,800 models are available in the model catalog of your Azure Foundry. The best part of this Azure model, Azure AI Foundry model catalog is your DeepSeek R1 model is also available and you will be able to play around the chat completion playground as well. So top of your Mistral model, your Hugging Face. Now DeepSeek is also available in your model catalog of your Azure AI Foundry as well. That's one of the best aspect. And what is the beauty is the moment when DeepSeek R1 model has been there in the market, most of them having a question or maybe having a confusion in terms of is it secure or not? Okay. So the best part of this DeepSeek R1 model has undergone a rigorous red teaming as well as safety evaluations because by default, the moment you start deploying the DeepSeek R1 model, it has the default content filtering is available. You can notice as part of the Azure AI content safety service as concerned. So in that case, it has gone and it has been done a rigorous type of safety evaluation assessment has been passed with the extensive security team has provided assurance in terms of the model has its default content filtering capability is there in your DeepSeek R1 model and this DeepSeek R1 model is safe to use. So there is no doubt about it. You can use this DeepSeek R1 model for your respective use case deployment for various customers. You can start handling this type of model deployment. So there's a DeepSeek model R1. I am going to deploy it. So there's a steps I'll be mentioning on the presentation part. Let me show you how this will be available in our Microsoft Azure AI portal. So there's a Microsoft Azure AI portal. What we need to create is the very first one is we will be creating an Azure AI Foundry first. So whenever you want to create a Azure AI Foundry services, let me create it. So I have already provisioned it. If you notice, there are two components you have to be used when you want to create Azure AI Foundry. First one is your Azure AI Hub. This hub is a container for all your Azure AI Foundry projects. Once the hub has been created, and you will be able to navigate to the Azure AI Foundry URL. From there, you can create your own Azure AI project. So whatever the hub you created in the Azure AI Foundry, this you are going to be associated with your Azure AI project as well. First, we will create Azure AI Hub first. So I'm going to provision the Azure AI Hub. So for this, we need to create a resource group. I'm going to create a resource group, call it as DevRG is my resource group. So this is already there. So I'm going to use the existing resource group, which is known as DevRG. Then which particular region you want to deploy this service. I'm going to deploy it in an East US. Just use East US. Then we need to provide a name for this, name for the hub. So I'm going to provide Insurance AI Hub, GPB. So this is a hub I'm going to create it. The moment you create it, it will take automatically the Azure OpenAI service in the background. This is a connected services. So this will be taken by default. Then once it is done, you hit review plus create. So now the validation is checking in the background. This will take a minute time. Once the validation is successful, you can see the create button is enabled. So now hit the create button, the deployment started initialized. So once the deployment started initialized, this will be converted into a deployment submitting phase. Afterwards, the deployment will take hardly a minute or two. Then this particular deployment will become successful. So you can notice the information, deployment is in progress. Let it go for progress. So as I told earlier in the DeepSeek-R1 model, in terms of security, it is a trusted platform. It is a trustworthy platform if you want to build any enterprise grade application using DeepSeek-R1 model. So no need to worry about your security feature as concerned. So now it is creating the key vault, your storage account, the other related services it's created in the background that you can notice in the deployment stage itself. So meanwhile, what I'll do, you can see the deployment is completed. Go to the resource. So in the resource, you can see you can launch the Azure AI Foundry as a separate in a separate tab. So once the Foundry has been opened, what you need to do is you just click this Azure AI Foundry. After you click the Azure AI Foundry, you have to create a Azure AI Foundry project. So let me create Azure AI Foundry project. So what I will provide this time, it should be insurance AI hyphen project and GBB. And the hub we are going to associate with this is Insurance AI Hub GBB. This is a hub we created already. It has started checking, validating the resources. Once it is done, you will click the button create. So now we are creating an Azure AI Foundry project. And what is the hub it is associated? It's Insurance AI Hub GPB hub it has been associated. Once it is done, so it is creating the project in the background. It will take a minute or two. Okay, now it is created and it is loading successfully. So the project it created is Insurance AI project. GPB is the project is created. What are the service in the background? It has been created as Azure OpenAI services. It has been created. For API In order to do any type of code deployment, use Azure AI Inference API. And there is a key available and there is an endpoint available. Okay. So what we will be doing now is we need to go to the models plus endpoint section in the asset section. Just click this. Here, you are supposed to deploy a model for this. Okay. So let's deploy a model. So I'm going to deploy a base model. So usually, if you want to deploy a base model, we will be used GPT-4o, GPT-4 Mini, O1 Mini, O1 Preview Mini, then O3 Mini. So in this case, which model are we going to deploy in the sense? We are going to deploy DeepSeek-R1 model. Okay. So DeepSeek-R1 model, as of now, it is completely free from 25th Feb onwards on the Azure AI Foundry. The DeepSeek model pricing will get started. As of now, the pricing will be zero. So as I told earlier, you can choose two of the chat completion models. It could be DeepSeek R1 model or it could be DeepSeek R1 distilled model. So I'll be choosing DeepSeek R1 chat completion model. So what I will do, I will do this. Then I'll say confirm. So when I want to confirm, by default, it is provided deployment name. I'm using as it is. And see this, it is by default, the DeepSeek-R1 model, it is enabling the content filter for your security mechanism as concerned. This is associated with your Azure AI content safety service. And 2027 onwards, the Azure AI content safety service will not be available. Instead of that, you can use a new service known as content understanding services. So what I'll do now is, if you notice the pricing and terms, as of now it is zero. From 25th Feb onwards, it will be chargeable. So now the pricing it is zero. Let's deploy this model. And it is a serverless API deployment we are doing. We no need for any compute. It is because it is serverless computing. Okay. So you can see the provisioning state. It is now says it is creating, and this will become succeeded. And what is the safety service? By default, it is enabled. It enable the Azure AI content safety service. It is enable the default safety mechanism. And you can see the provisioning state is also succeeded state. And you can notice the respective endpoints and keys. And even if you want to use your Swagger implementation, you can use Swagger API as well. Okay. And what is the API are we going to use for this DeepSeek-R1 model deployment? Will be the Azure AI Model Inference API. We are using it. So let's open in the playground. So I'm opening in the chat completion playground, and you can see the model, which is the DeepSeek-R1 model. Okay. So I'm going to use the chat section. Hi. So this will take some time. So now, since the server was fast, we are getting the response immediately. I'm going to ask a question. Write a tagline for an ice cream shop. Okay, this is my question now. It is started thinking using the reasoning model capabilities. So it is providing me the details with the advanced reasoning capabilities like self-evaluation, your self-verification, your reflection and correction. So it has started giving the enough details about this, and you can notice various types of tagline it is providing to us. So from this, we can choose whichever the tagline which suits for you, whichever you like it. Accordingly, we can filter out. So from from the detailed reasoning concept, it is providing the four set of taglines. From this, you can choose whichever you are comfortable, which you like it, you can choose it. Okay. So there's a regular chat playground completion. We deployed this model and we got the result as part of the chat completion playground as concerned. How, as part of the GenAI developer, how to do it in terms of coding aspect. So in order to do this coding, you are supposed to have some of the prerequisites. So what type of prerequisite we require is, we need an Azure subscription for this model deployment of your DeepSeek R1, followed by the Azure AI Foundry. And library, Python library version should be 3.12 plus. So highest version, make use of it. So what are packages we require is Azure AI inference package is required. Okay. I will show you the Azure AI inference package. So there's a code I have written. So if you notice the code, so we have imported the package known as the Azure AI inference package. We have used with the help of the command called as pip install Azure AI inference. So this is already installed. If I type pip install Azure AI hyphen inference, this will simply say the requirement is already satisfied. Okay, because this package I have installed already, and so in this case, what is the package we used is Azure AI inference packages, as well as what are the classes I'm using is I'm using the class known as chat completion client, and the system message as well as user message. These two are the additional classes I'm using it. And for the keys and endpoint, we use Azure key credential. So I directly used the uh, endpoint as well as a key which is from the Azure AI Foundry. So I have taken the endpoint and I have taken the key as well. And whatever the model name is there, okay. So whatever the model name is there, that particular deployment model we have to provide here as part of the overall environmental variable is concerned. So once it is done, we are creating a chat completion client. Okay. So I'm using the class called as chat completion client. Here I'm passing two important parameters. One is the endpoint and second one is the token. Token is nothing but the key. So for the key, you are using the class known as Azure key credential class. We are using it. So I'll be using one of the method to get a question as well as to get the responses. What is the method I'll be using is complete method. This complete method is a member of which particular class in the sense your chat completion class. So I have to use complete method. So inside the complete method, for the question, you have to pass the question in the user message. I mean, I'm asking a question is what is the capital of India? So the maximum token for this particular DeepSeek-R1 model is 2048 is a max token. So you can check out here. If you go for the parameter, the max number of token it is 2048. I don't want 2048 tokens, max tokens. I'm reducing it to 100. I need some 1000 max tokens. And whatever the model name we are using is the same model we have to pass it. And in order to print the response, I'm saying response dot that particular message, whatever the message, I'm going to print it and followed by the content of the particular question. So what I will do now, I'm going to execute this particular code rather than the chat completion playground. I'll be executing here as Python, the name of the file, .py. Okay. So the question I have already given in the user message itself. What is the capital of India? It is going to think the reasoning capabilities. Okay. The beauty of this DeepSeek-R1 model as the advanced reasoning capabilities followed by its own self-evolution model. And I say self-evolution model, it has self-correction, reflection, self-validation. Those techniques are there by imbibe. So it is now checking. Let's wait for the result. So it will take some time to fetch the result because most of the customers, most of the people will use the DeepSeek R1 model in your Python application development. It will take some time because this is not your interface, right? So you can see the result. It has started thinking, deep thinking. So in the thinker tag, it has given first, I need to recall the capital cities of different countries. And it has started remembering the various features of our country. And accordingly, it is given the final answer is the capital of India is New Delhi with the reasoning capabilities, with the other features in terms of deeper understanding about this particular question. So every time as a user, I may not able to put my question directly to the code itself. So what we will be doing as part of the next hands-on is concerned. So what I'm going to demonstrate is there is one of the wonderful package which is available in Python, which is known as Streamlit. The Streamlit is specifically designed for the data scientist as well as the machine learning engineers, the AI engineers or Gen AI engineers who wants to build a web application without any knowledge on the front-end technologies. So I don't know anything about React.js or an AngularJS or HTML technologies, but still they want to develop an extensive web-based applications. You can use a Streamlit Python package. So for that, what I have implemented is, let me show the code. So what is the code I used here is again same uh, packages. I use Azure AI inferences. So here what I passed is I passed all the environmental variable like endpoint is from the Azure Foundry, the model name from the Azure AI Foundry, and the key from the Azure AI Foundry. Then afterwards, rather than calling a normal response.client method, there I'm not passing the direct prompt or a question. So here I used one of the Python function I have created. What are the Python function I have created is get response is the Python function I have created. So in the response variable, I passed a client.complete. By default, all the Azure AI inference packages, the stream parameter is true by default. So I'm passing the user message, the content, and what type of question is this question is I'm going to get through this Streamlit application. Okay, and model equal to model name, which is nothing but this model name. I'm not going to execute this directly now. I'll explain the next file. In the next file, you can see the Streamlit application is present. So I'm providing for the Streamlit application as the title, and I'm giving some message also. Then in the text area, I'm going to call the text area functionality to ask the user to prompt their question. Once this is done, I want to use the endpoint key model from the previous file so that I'm importing the previous file also here. Once the button we have given, like a submit button, whatever the question you typed and you are hitting the submit button, it is going to fetch the model from the Azure AI Foundry. It will call the Azure AI inference class and whatever the questions you are giving, and immediately it start checking the reasoning model capabilities. Accordingly, you will be getting the response using the method known as get response. This get response will call this particular method and this will trigger here. Once it is triggered, it will evoke, it will call the model name. The name of the model is nothing but DeepSeek-R1 model. Once it is done, it is going to provide the responses, and those responses it is going to give as a full response as a markdown method. Okay, there is a method known as markdown. Markdown method is if you want to update any of your prompt or any of the questions incrementally, then use markdown method. Once this is completed the entire process, I'm going to close the entire Azure chat completion class. That is a client variable I'm using here. So let us execute this code now. In order to execute this code, usually how you are executing the Python code, like Python name of the file name .py. Since it is a Streamlit application, it's a web-based application, you have to execute like this: Python -m Streamlit run is the keyword. So I have to call the name of the file name. What is the name of the file name? Is sample6.py. Let me execute this. This will immediately trigger the Streamlit server. This will be open in the uh, local browser. So you can see the Streamlit application started loading. And you can see also the Streamlit application started running, and we'll be able to build our own web chat bot using Streamlit application deployment. So give me some 1 minute, it will load completely. So you can see it called the model, that is DeepSeek-R1 model it called. Okay. Just a second, let it load for some time. So meanwhile, I'll take some questions. It is loading time. Is there any question on the chat? Let me check.
Yeah, we have a question, Jenna, first of all.
Is there any equivalent .NET package for Streamlit? Okay, so Streamlit is specifically only for the Python packages. If you still this DeepSeek-R1 model, as of now, they have released only for the Python packages. So .NET packages is yet to release. It's taking time to load it. So all the text boxes, your submit button will be there, and you can directly ask the questions in the Streamlit application itself. Kumar, I can take questions. It is taking time to load it. I can take questions if there's any questions.
Yeah, sure. Anybody who has question, you can unmute and ask us, or else you can come, like, leave that in the chat.
I think music model in Microsoft. What is the question?
Microsoft semantic kernel. So the question is,
Semantic kernel, that is your agent. Okay, DeepSeek model, you can use it in the either in semantic kernel you can use, or else you can use in the AutoGen as well. AutoGen you can use in the PyData, you can use Crew API also. So those are set of APIs available for the DeepSeek model deployment.
Yeah, means I'm asking questions because it's building, but nobody else is asking question. I'm Clavin, by the way. I'm speaking next, but yeah.
Okay, thanks,
Uh,
Clay.
I
Yeah.
also wanted to say, like, if we can use Blazor, right, to go ahead and bring up a
Yes,
UI if we want to do it just like others are not asking question. So that's why I was just. So I
Blazor
think we
also
can
we can
use
use. Yeah.
Blazor in combination with semantic kernel and build a UI because there's no equivalent to Streamlit as of now.
Yes. But the only one worst part in the Streamlit is it will take time to load the model deployment. Other than that, the Streamlit is very simple. It is user friendly.
Pray to the demo gods, I guess. It always happens to me. I'm next. Everything
Okay.
works when it comes to the demo, it becomes slow sometime. I know Streamlit, it works pretty well, yes.
So even if that is the case, it is taking time. I already given my YouTube link on the chat also. I'll ask Komati to ping. So this application already there in the channel. You can check out the same code as well. So there is a question for a new beginner to begin with the AI model. Can you please suggest the pathways? Okay. So what is the pathway, right? Just a moment, I'll tell you. So is it about the Gen AI are you asking, or else which one? Any preferences? So anybody wants to learn about your AI models, or else you want to kickstart your career in terms of the Microsoft Azure platform, the best one is mm, the generative AI from the Microsoft. The another best aspect of this is it has a step-by-step implementation guidelines and the documentation where you need to start the learning pathway. So the end-to-end approach will be there in the Microsoft Learn website itself. You just give the type Microsoft, so it will curate whatever types of courses and your prerequisite along with the uh, implementation of your coding approaches, followed by the learning outcomes, what you will be able to achieve it. Okay, so all your parts will be available in the Microsoft Learn page itself. You can make use of it. Any other questions? I think Gombari, I'm done.
Hello, hi, Jana. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, you can just let me know. We will have 1 minute for this. And before that, Jana, I just wanted to ask a question regarding this Azure AI Foundry. So does it require a subscription? Because I've tried to uh, log in, but it asks for some subscription. Like even I have MSDN subscription, but while
Okay.
trying to connect with that, like I got some error or it is not accepting. I don't know why. If you have anything, you can say here. Yes, it's fine.
Okay, what the Microsoft is actually doing is the same, not only for the Azure AI Foundry,
Mm-hmm.
like almost 2 weeks onwards, the Language Studio and then Vision Studio, as well as this Azure AI Studio. Azure AI Studio is now it is called as Azure AI Foundry.
Mm-hmm.
The free MSDN subscription, they're not providing for the entire tenant, only for the resource level only they are providing it. And for
Okay.
some of the services, they are restricting it and they're asking us to change either to pay as you go or else an enterprise subscription.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Even the free trial subscription is also not working. Okay, so now they are
Okay.
everything they are moving towards this one only. Which one is the pay as you go subscription?
Okay. Got it. Thank you. I hope no questions from anyone. So I think we can wind up. On behalf of our telecommunity team, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks for your incredible session, Janardhan. So your expertise in AI and specifically in the DeepSeek, because it's like everyone wants to learn that, right? Like a DeepSeek with in Microsoft, combined with your engaging delivery, truly made a biggest impact. And it was an honor to learn from someone with such a deep knowledge and passion for innovation. Looking forward to more opportunities and learn from you in the future as well, Jana. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gomati, and thanks for everyone for joining this one. And we will meet in some other session.
Thank you.
Thank you
So
so
I'm
much.
stopping the recording here, and I think Rahul, are you here, Rahul?